Oh shit, here we go again.
Low, low, man. Low, low, man.
You like contracts, right? You're a contract guy.
I read contracts instead of conventional pornography, yes.
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
And they're still fucking nerds.
What's up, everybody? Of course, it's your boy, Andrew Esquire, here in Seoul, South Korea, and this is a Legal Mindset where we teach you to be your own judge. Have a little extra fun in the intro today. As you know, we're doing a really more open topics. Today, we're talking about Pokemon, Palworld, we're talking about Melon Books, and a lot of other topics that people have asked me to talk about. But it's been a minute. I do apologize. I was literally about to hit go and somebody called me, a client of mine called me, and I'm like, bro, I know you're paying me money, but I'm also about to stream. And you just got, you know, hundreds of people mad at you right now because you could decided to call me. And you ruined my reputation. You slandered me to my audience. Hilarious. But anyways, good to see everybody here today. Also, Doug Diaz coming up with the 5 legal mindset memberships off rip. Just gotta say.
Not a sin. I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
Thank you, Doug Diaz. RK Knight, Uncle Brat, Corey Boatwright, Bird Troll, and R. Reese Moriendi becoming members of BLM. Thank you so much for joining my membership of the Base Legal Mindset. I truly appreciate it. And we are going to do, so what I am going to do is, I kind of want to, I have 2 things I want to do. Now, I did promise a Soju stream, so we will be doing that. But I want to have a fun BLM stream soon. So I'm thinking about ideas for the fun BLM stream as well. So that's got to happen. Thank you. Also, King Lugia for 5. Thank you for those memberships. Appreciate you, King Lugia.
Yes.
Thank you for that. All right. So imagine your lawyer getting pissed that you're interrupting a stream. Yeah. Hey, fuck you for interrupting my stream, client. That's funny. Good to see everybody here, though. Welcome, everybody. As you know, we're doing great coverage of Johnny Somali. I am not going to give up that coverage. I've got a lot to cover. I've got a lot of stories. I'm deep diving on that. But I also don't want you guys to think that I've forgotten about the other news to cover. I have not. The thing is, there's only so many hours of the day. And when you're busy in a deep dive, whether that's viewing a trial, like the trial stream when we watch Sarah Boone, or when I watch Johnny Depp, or any other thing, it's when you're in that moment, in that deep dive, it's hard to get out of it to cover other stuff. But I just wanted to do this stream to kind of make you guys aware, hey, look, listen, I hear you. I know there's a lot of topics out there to cover in the legal world. There's also a lot of things going on in the VTuber space as well. So I know that is something I'm going to circle back to. But I'm just so fascinated getting all this information on Johnny Somali. And also because I've just gotten such positive response as well from both people here that have spoken to me directly and people that are now giving me information, turning over stuff that's evidence. So it's really amazing. And we're having a positive impact as a community on that particular news item. This is something where it's not just me covering it and it goes nowhere, because let's face it, that happens with many YouTube channels. They cover something and maybe it's just a dust in the wind. This is something that our coverage is actually getting, is actually having a huge impact, right? Somebody asked, do I know where he is right now? Well, he's moved. So the location where he was, which I did know, he moved, right? So do I know where he is at this moment? No, but I'm sure that people will find out quickly. And beyond that, I'm sure the police know. Have you ever thought of cocaine to up your productivity? So I do need to cover the Nick Rekieta meltdown. I think maybe doing the soju stream as a Nick Rekieta meltdown might be a great combination, because even like bottles of soju deep, I probably am going to be more sober than Nick Rekieta is on a regular basis. But yes, he moved. All right. So that's what coffee is for. That's funny. All right. So we're going to get into it today with these topics. So without further ado, the main topic and the first topic is going to be Pokemon versus Palworld. Now, this is the biggest topic that you guys have requested, and this is one that, frankly, everyone is highly interested in. Yeah, too early for soju. I agree with that. Way too early for soju, right? It's like 11 a.m. here. Yeah, crypto site Suyoki Neko for 5 says coffee fun. Yeah, after this stream, coffee, because I have not had anything. I'm just drinking water. I try to drink a lot of water, like a lot. I had to make sure to finish that bottle, but I'll put like 2 of these bad boys down a day at least. And that's just like from what I buy at home. You can see another bottle right there. I'm going to finish that today. So that's my my water intake. I mean, pretty much I go by the standard. If you're not peeing like multiple times a day, you know, you're not drinking enough water. You're not drinking enough water. All right, what else is here? It's 5 p.m. somewhere in the world. That rule is what got Nick in trouble, right? That said, we will do it probably not tonight, maybe tomorrow night or another night this week. So, but it should be fun. Should be very fun. All right. So, yeah, very well hydrated mindset. All right, let's get into Pokemon versus Palworld. So here we have a report. So obviously, you guys know Pocket Pair, aka Palworld, was sued by Pokemon, aka Nintendo, and the Pokemon Company. Now, this is something I've covered previously. I have videos on this previously. So if you want to see the original take, you can go back. I'm going to say it now. I'm not revising my take. We're just adding details. So I'm not changing anything I said earlier. I stand by all of it. And in fact, if anything, I'm just going to add some nuance here on what Palworld needs to attack. But understand, let me say this straight up. I'm not going to hide the ball. A lot of people on the internet, their love for Pocket Pair and Palworld is coloring their legal opinion here. The proper legal assessment, the objective legal assessment is this one is going to be very difficult for Pocket Pair and Palworld to win. The burden is against Palworld. So the ball is in Palworld's court to fight. It will be an uphill battle. People saying, I don't see how this is like, I don't see how Pokemon can win. There's no way, right? They're underplaying how tough this is going to be. Plus, somebody said this in the chat. Nintendo is really a law firm at this point. Nintendo has extensive litigation experience. So trying to out-litigate Nintendo in and of itself is very hard. So don't make this seem like Palworld, is going to win like slam dunk, because you're going to be disappointed if they lose or if there's a settlement, which is more likely. Both of those outcomes, a settlement or Pocket Pair losing, is more likely than Pocket Pair winning and blowing out Nintendo. Now, do they have a way to attack them? Do they have a way to fight back? Do they have a chance to win? Absolutely. We're going to talk about that today. So here's what happened. Pocket Pair has a report. So we're going to read this, and thank God for dark mode, the dark reader on the Chrome app. I just turned that on because it was like so white. This was so white. I thought it was like a mayonnaise commercial. Okay. So report on the patent infringement lawsuit. As announced on September 19, 2024, the Pokemon Company and Nintendo Co., hereinafter referred to as plaintiffs, I'll just call them Nintendo, have filed a patent infringement lawsuit against us. We have received inquiries from various media outlets regarding the status of the lawsuit, and we would like to report the details and current status of the case as follows. Number one, details of the lawsuit. The plaintiffs claim that Palworld, released by us on January 19, 2024, infringes upon the following 3 patents held by plaintiffs and are seeking an injunction against the game and compensation for a portion of the damages incurred as of the date of registration of the patents and the date of filing the lawsuit. Target patents, and we're going to open up all these patents. So patent number 7545191, application date July 30th, 2024. Patent registration August 27, 2024. That's this year. Patent number 7493117. Patent application February 26, 2024. May 22nd, 2024. Patent number 7528390. Patent application date March 5th, 2024. Patent registration July 26, 2024. These are all from this year. So the registration, the official registration, no earlier than May and then going to July and August. So some of them, quite late into this year. Summary of this claim, an injunction against Palworld. So that means this is what a lot of people are focusing on, the damages, which are not a lot. I'll make that conversion, right? So I'll make the yen to USD conversion, right? The damage are little, but the biggest part is the injunction. And a lot of people are underplaying the injunction. The injunction essentially is to stop them from functioning, to say, okay, well, until you fix these elements and pay us, your game cannot run. You have to change your game in order to make it run. I mean, and once again, we don't have the full details of the injunction, but that's what people are looking over. They're just focusing on this because, by the way, payment 5 million yen plus late damages to Pokemon Company, 5 million plus late damages to Nintendo. So, and they're saying here, we will continue to assert our position in the case through future legal proceedings. Please note that we will refrain from responding individually to inquiries regarding this case, and if any matters arise that require public notice, we will announce them on our website. So they're not going to respond to your emails on this. Mind you, 10 million yen is not a lot, right? It is not a lot. Let's look over here. 10 million yen to USD, right? Right here. $65,000 right now. $65,000. It's not much, and it's probably going down. That amount will probably go down. So 65,000 plus some late penalties, etc. Let's call it 70. Let's call it 70 because there's some late fees. So 70,000 is a joke. To be honest with you guys, Palworld, just to respond to this, is probably going to pay their lawyers more than $70,000 just to get their lawyers to work. So that amount isn't the big thing. It's the injunction and whatever the injunction will stop them from doing or what it will require them to change, which could cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Including lost revenue. So that's the bigger thing there is the money and also the precedent. So if they win, they're able to set a precedent that, hey, you're going to have to settle with Pokemon, right? If Pokemon sues you, Nintendo sues you, you're going to have to settle. And you can't fight back. Now, to be clear, a lot of channels, and this is something I heard, I think I heard, I forget who talked about this. I think it was Thor who mentioned this, who had some guy on his channel, and they were so focused on the dates. And a lot of people don't understand this, including I think the guy that they had on was allegedly a legal expert, even though he didn't know what a divisional patent was. And we've talked about this. So a lot of people are focused on these dates. And yes, the dates are relevant, but the thing is, these are all divisional patents. So what is a divisional patent? A divisional patent is something that, yes, it's registered this year, but the authority for the patent, yeah, thanks, Sparky. Yeah. The authority for the patent goes back to the filing of the original patent. And I talked about this in my earlier video. If you guys want to go check out that video, you can check that out. But that's something that's very common as a litigation tactic. And what this is they had a original patent, which I believe goes back to 2021 or 2020. And they're dividing that patent into smaller patents, into other patents as part of a litigation tactic. But they can use the earlier date. So they can use the before Palworld date for validity. But beyond that, that's not the best way to attack this. You're not going to get rid of the concept of a divisional patent. And mind you, yeah, this is under Japanese law. But by the way, America has divisional patents too. This is not just a Japanese thing. Divisional patents are a worldwide thing, right? Divisional patents are not just the US. You can look up how to do a divisional patent in the EU, in Australia, in the US. It's not just there. So anybody who doesn't know about that hasn't done their research. Because by the way, let me give you guys a confession. Here's a confession from me, right? Intellectual property is not my specialty. I know, it's shocking, right? And a lot of lawyers won't admit this. A lot of people try to say, oh, I'm a legal expert and pretend they know everything. It's not my specialty. But you know what lawyers are supposed to be able to do? Competent research. We have one of our duties, our ethical duties, is to be able, with a reasonable amount of time, to do competent research, to go look and to be able to discover an answer. And well, with like a couple hours of research, I was to find out a lot of information on divisional patents. And I was like, wow, this is like really fundamental and very common. I've found many instances of this happening, many charts and procedures and processes to get this filed in many different countries. So with a little modicum of research, even for me, who it's not my area, you can discover this is very common. So people not doing the research here just shows they're frankly very lazy, or they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Right? Yeah, my specialty is annoying Disney. Yes, that's my specialty. Oh, and Niji Sanji. And now Johnny Somali. I'm going to have a specialization in sending Johnny Somali to hard labor. Oh, I can't wait to talk about sending Johnny Somali to hard labor. That's for a different day. That's for a different day. And also, everyone asking me to cover Ricada, I think we're going to do that on a separate stream. So don't worry. I see you in the chat. Kirio. So I think Pocket Pair is also malicious. They used a revision instead of the filing date. This is similar to Nintendo versus Colpol? I'll have to look at that case. I forget the Nintendo versus Colpol case, so I have to check that one out. And while obviously I'm going to keep monitoring this case, but maliciousness doesn't really affect anything. So this isn't criminal law. This isn't like first degree murder where like maliciousness makes it more, it's do they have a valid patent or not? And this is the question people are missing. What they are focusing on is the dates, because people are this is the bad part about internet autism. And by the way, I love this. Let me say, I love my internet autists. I love you guys, right? But you're focusing on the wrong thing. Attacking the date is not going to be a winning argument. Attacking the concept of a divisional patent is not going to be a winning argument. What's a winning argument is attacking the patent itself and whether or not it's patentable. Because what they're actually trying to patent actually probably shouldn't even be patentable, because it's not unique. It's not unique to this game. It's not even something they invented. There are other things, and we're going to get into these patents, that were done by other games beforehand. The patents are super broad. The patents are not specific. That's where they should attack them. And I think that by focusing on the dates, you're removing the better argument. The better argument, these are shitty patents. These are really bad. Let's look at the patents themselves. Right? So we got 3 here. And I've got the patents pulled up. So let's go with those. Let's start with the first one. This is JP77545-191B1. This is, of course, owned by Nintendo Company and the Pokemon Company. And you can see the dates there, right? It expires in 2041. So here's the ball mechanic, right? So here's the one. You guys see where they're throwing the ball? This is the ball mechanic, right? So let's read this. To provide a game program, game system, game device, or game processing method that can cause a player character to perform various actions on a field in a virtual space. In a first mode, the aiming direction in a virtual space is determined based on a second operation input And the player character is caused to fire an item that affects the field character arranged on a field in a virtual space in the aiming direction based on a third operation input. And in second mode, the aiming direction is determined based on the second operation input, and the player character is caused to fire a combat character that engages in combat in the aiming direction based on the third operation input. So this is essentially the ball, the Pokeball, right? So you've got the Pokeball, you've got the field here, right? So, and I love how they use dinosaurs, which was really cute because they didn't want to give away their IP, so they just used dinosaurs. And there's the ball, right? The ball. And then nice, right? There's a nice catch. So they're wanting to patent balls. This is super broad. And they should say, look, this is too broad. Get rid of it. Now, could it survive in a more narrowly tailored way? Yes. Maybe like the ball itself, maybe. And the style exactly, but once again, that's more of a like copyright argument. And the thing is, this is a patent, so it just seems to me like, okay, this might be something that isn't really an invention. It's not unique, right? It could be the same as someone's like throwing a grenade, throwing any other shaped object. So attack it that way. Let's go to the next one, right? And this one these get even more interesting as we go along, right? So. Is this one correct? Let me make sure this one's correct. Okay. Yeah. So we have another one here. We got 3, right? This is game program function. Simulating properties, behavior, or motion of objects in a game world, i.e. a computer computing a tire load in a car race game using the determination of contract between game characters or objects, e.g. to avoid collision between virtual racing cars. So, once again, this is very vague. What the hell are you talking about? Super vague. Right? Super vague. Then we've got the last one here, which is, and let's find this one. This is JP752. 839 OB2. This one also vague. Computing the motion of game characters with respect to other game characters, excuse me, game elements of a game scene, e.g., simulating the behavior of virtual soldiers or pathfinding. So methods for moving automatically NPCs in a game scene according to the game progress. For example, virtual soldiers following their leader in a strategy game, or virtual soccer characters are positioned to receive or intercept the ball. In the example below, characters 51 and 52 are moving automatically to a location according to the player input on a touchscreen. In the other example, non-player characters 11 and 12 are approaching automatically the player characters. So super freaking vague, right? Super vague. So once again, I would attack that as something that cannot be patented. And that's, I think, the best argument for them. That is so attackable. So, but the problem is, and the struggle here is that they have to justify this fight. So now a corporation has to justify, why don't we just pay $60,000 and then get out of this? Now we have to figure out what the injunction is and what the injunction would require them to change. But why don't we just make the changes and pay the money and get out of this? Now that will set bad precedent, but here's the thing. Why does Palworld care about precedent? Here's the problem. Palworld doesn't have to respond on behalf of the world or on behalf of video games everywhere. They only have to respond on behalf of themselves. And their investors may say, yeah, we just want to be able to continue to make money. And that's the problem here. We're all thinking about the broader implications. We're all thinking about that. But Palworld as a company, and I'm telling you this as a person who represented companies, right? We think this way, but that's not how companies think. Especially we're thinking about Japan. I'm thinking they're not going to do that. So I wouldn't put your hopes up that Palworld is going to do this grand moral fight against the evil Pokemon company, because a lot of people want to see Pokemon go down or Nintendo go down, but I don't know whether this is the case that's going to bring them down. They may just do what gets them out of trouble and move on, right? Would it be bad PR? Maybe. And that could be the reason why they don't do it, is because it would be bad PR. Maybe. But then again, these are also two Japanese companies in the Japanese system. Would a settlement create legal precedent? No. So it won't be legal precedent, but it would be business precedent. So the difference is, Bill, is that other businesses will look at that and say, well, they settled over this, so we should either avoid it or we should just settle. So everyone will start settling with Nintendo when they sue. Right. Yeah. Alicia G, thanks for the membership. Yeah, whoever gave Alicia, guys, thank you for helping people out. 3-1 Winty in Wintermid says, bear in mind, Palworld released before any of the trademarks registered. This is just slap. 3-1 Winty, bro, are you even listening? I appreciate your super chat, but please rewind and listen again very carefully. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, but please rewind. It's not slap. First of all, this isn't defamation. It's a patent suit, right? So this isn't like free. This isn't a free speech thing. It's a patent suit. Patent has nothing to do with slap, right? Second of all, go back, watch my video on divisional patents, right? So that has nothing to do. All that's trademark stuff in the registration date won't at all matter. The dates are relevant. Stop focusing on the dates. Appreciate you though. Quiz 87 says, didn't Craftopia, Pocket Pair's previous game, already use open world ball throwing mechanics 2020? Yep. So they can say that if it was a copyright claim, but that's why they did patent. So they did patent because it would remove a lot of those arguments that previous games have already done it, because they'd have to fight that accusation. Let me get one other statement here. So this is actually a pretty good article. This is by somebody else who I guess is in the patent field. So they call this was by a patent analyst who said this was a clear case of bullying. And with respect to this, Nintendo has filed new patent applications, right, which they did after they complained about it, and they assert those game patents in Japanese court. So, he is saying, hey, this is bullying. This is patent lawfare over game rules, which I would generally agree with. Nintendo is using its bigger lawyers, but companies generally get away with that. They do it because they get away with that. Like Disney did that for the longest time because Disney got away with it. It's only after Disney was fought against an opponent that was as big, or rather, frankly, bigger than they, or rather had good resources like the state of Florida, that they ended up losing, right? That's the type of situation you need. You need like the government to go after Nintendo. And there's a lot of incentive for the government to not go after Nintendo. Now, it's not like Korea here where I'm at right now, where there's like these chaebols like Samsung and LG and big companies like Hanwha and stuff that control like the majority of the economy of the country. It's not that bad in Japan. But Nintendo is a significant portion of the Japanese economy, right? It's not a little company. So it's not a joke to try to break up Nintendo. Right. Pikachu is almost a national mascot. Exactly. So there's a lot on the line, and there's a lot of national interest in that country. On my locals, Xander's Rant sent me $1 and said, what's the biggest game in Korea these days? Is it still StarCraft? No. But once again, I don't know. I don't want to speak for Koreans because I'm not Korean, right? Just because I'm here. I will just say this. So he asked, what's the biggest game? I'll say what I'm seeing a lot of ads for. So I'm seeing a lot of ads like in the Metro. I saw ads for Nikke, Goddess of War, Nikke, and then Hoyoverse. I see ads for Hoyoverse and Nikke. Those two games. That's just what I see in the Metro. Whether or not those are popular and whether or not those are what's actually played. I also see a lot of people watching League games on their phone, League of Legends on their phone, and there's stuff like that. Yeah. Got some victory. Sorry. Got that wrong. This is stupid. But anyways, thank you guys. I see Nikkei everywhere. Big booty ladies. Yes. Base Nikkei. Great boba and story. There you go. So that's what people say. Nikkei, they have a taste for art. yeah, a lot. In fact, I'm going to go to Hongdae again to get a haircut because I had one, but I'll probably get it cleaned up again. There's a huge Nikkei ad in Hongdae in the metro. Huge, fucking massive. Japanese Demon Lord of Bar Lucifer said you should react to Fleckazoid's video on Palworld lawsuit. Anyways, here's some money for the cocaine to help you work longer. Yeah, don't even joke about that. Japanese Demon Lord of Bar Lucifer. In Asia, drug use and possession is illegal. So even if you are not caught possessing it and you're just caught like using it or like it's in your system, you are screwed. And like that is a serious penalty, and you are definitely getting deported for that. So yeah, not fucking around with that. No Spicer, Minnesota issues over here. Jackson says Nikkei is incredibly based. Kirio, 15 Malaysian ringgit, said, did you know that Nintendo also has a patent on touchscreen control, sleep mode, and friendless too? Yeah, once again, these types of patents I am against. I think all those patents need to be thrown out because number one, they didn't do them well. Number one, they're too broad. And number two, they're not really the ones that invented that anyways. Monster Lord says, I've seen the Mega Base lawyers on and gave the stream a like because that's how it must be. Thank you very much. You know what? I think I'm getting a phone call. I think I'm hearing a phone call, Monster Lord.
Hello, Peso Department.
Thank you so much. And thank you everybody who's liked the stream. Appreciate you guys supporting me. It really helps out both in the algorithm and with me, providing this content to you guys on a regular basis. All right. So next topic we have here is Nintendo taking over an emulator. Oh, before I get to that, Ava, what's going on, Ava? Good to see you. Elfire Ava, member for 5 months, says patent law is rage-inducing as always. I see. Is there any legal routes we could take to prevent payment processors from doing this form of censorship? 420 law is in another place this happens. Well, once again, this isn't in America. This is in Japan. So we cannot change Japanese law. But with the Melon Book stuff, which we're going to get to, what we need to do is we need to keep, these companies from being able to engage in censorship. If they want to operate, they need to be neutral. And by the way, I think that's going to be behind President-elect Trump and his digital Bill of Rights, which if it's passed, would be a huge deal. Somebody asked, am I a patent lawyer? I am not. Let me be very clear. I am not. I merely get educated on these issues before I present them. That's why sometimes I don't present things quickly. I don't present things first, but I take my time to research them and present them to my audience because they want to know, some general knowledge on it, right? And I share it as best I can. Winty and Wintermid says, that's what I was saying. Trademark bullying. Wiki says trademark bullying is a type of slap. Wikipedia is not a great source always. I will use it for general information or like basic stuff, but they add now too much opinion, and opinion is not good. And especially the thing is, outside the US, a lot of those analyses don't apply. So Wikipedia is it's very slanted and very political, and it's coming from a very specific perspective. So anyways, make sure you got your notifications, ding, CCPC Tech. But yeah, I'm doing good. Also pay attention to my locals and X. I put it on both platforms. Shala says, took my husband out for dinner for Veterans Day. Oh, he was in the National Guard for 7 years. Nice. Very nice. Well, thank you. That's very sweet on Veterans Day. Alpire Ava says, for 5, you have to pass a special bar exam to be a patent attorney. Yes, exactly. Wild stuff. And a digital Bill of Rights is long overdue. Yes. And it is something I'm super pumped about. Having some sort of due process online is so important, especially for people creating content. Look, if I have a video that's taken down, I'm okay with that if you tell me why. All I want to know is why. Just give me a reason, right? That's it. Maybe I'll complain about the reason. Maybe I'll fight back against the reason. But I mean, I just want to know why. That's the main problem I have. If you're going to demonetize a video or have a problem with it, whatever else, just let me know why. Give me the details. And you know what? Maybe I'll fix what I do in the future. Maybe I'll say, oh, was it because I said the F word? Was it because I said some sort of other topic? What was it? And a lot of times, by the way, the reason why they do this is because they don't want you to say certain words. For example, during the pandemic, there were certain words you couldn't say. The V word, right? You couldn't say that. During the election, right? You couldn't talk anything about, let's say, election shenanigans, right? Which now, if you look at, certain ways it happened this year with voter ID versus no voter ID, one might say those comments were entirely accurate, as well as a number of votes. So these are just things that once again, we should be able to get feedback. Tell me why you took me down. Is that really it? Is that the reason? But you don't want to say it? Now you've got to say it. You've got to tell me. Ted Park says, remember to upvote people. Great stream, by the way. Thank you. Right. All right. Let's get to the next one. And, by the way, $1 from Repton on local says, knock, knock, who's there? Slams door violently into Somali's face. The door! Thank you. Locals, Chads. Thank you. All right. So we've got here, let me get this pulled up. Nintendo has taken over the Switch emulator Ryujinx. They've taken over their website. Sorry, Ryujinx. So they have taken it over. So they now control the domain for the website. This is part of their battle against emulators. And, big, and this is a very good point here. Big Nintendo Switch emulators have no future. They're going to dominate emulators one way or another. They're aggressively going against emulators with all forms of lawsuits, etc., despite the fact that they've actually lost lawsuits regarding emulation, but the way they're targeting them is different. The way they're targeting them is different. So I will say that for emulation, it's kind of a dark day because Nintendo is using their money to bully these emulators. And because they don't have the money to go through the expensive appeals and bring this to the Supreme Court, we may see, it may be a long, dark day for emulation, right? Emulators are legal, but they're getting them by certain methods of which they're downloading the information, or they're taking the information, which it's a high technicality, but because they've had one win, they keep compiling this. And this is the exact same precedent. So this emulation precedent where they've taken down now multiple emulators, that emulation precedent is exactly what happened in Palworld. So Nintendo gets one win and they use it as a snowball to keep fighting other people. Right? Yeah, my rule of thumb, don't emulate current gen. And that's basically what the rule has been. Because the older emulators are fine. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at, let me close my window here. I think I've got it pulled up, my Visual Boy Advance. Got that one, VBA. Emulate a lot of the Pokemons, the older ones, right? I think I was playing Ultraviolet earlier. That was fun. So I got on my phone. I think I have the Delta emulator. Which one is that? Is it the Delta? Is it Delta? Let me make sure I'm looking at the right one. That's my other phone. Virtual Boy. Thank you. Virtual Boy, VBA, right? And then Delta. Yeah, I've got Delta on my phone. So very base Delta. Show you what I got here. It's not going to dox me at all. See right there. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. So yeah, fun stuff. I just got Mew in Ultraviolet. I play that when I'm traveling and I don't want to read, or like I'm just tired, I need to zone out. I'll do that. But anyways, so yeah, I think it's a bad precedent, and I'm a big fan of emulation, but I get that they're gonna bully people out of that current generation pretty much in perpetuity. And I don't see, from a business standpoint, a power big enough that's going to stop them unless it's the government, right? Unless they're regulated out of it, I don't see them stop. I don't see them having really any opponent that's got enough resources to fight them. Don't see it happening. That's kind of my assessment on that. Sorry, guys. People wanted me to comment on that. It's tough. Species 316 says, sorry I'm late, was watching the best of 2022 Demolition Derby because America, thank you. Well, welcome. And then dropping Species 316, dropping 10 legal mindset membership. Yes. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you much for guys, the memberships. I think we've got today, what is it, about 20? So, I mean, that's awesome. I really much appreciate that. And thank you everybody for supporting the channel. Once again, it helps me do this on a regular basis. And make sure you're also liking the video. That's always free. Can always do it no matter the topic. So just hit the like on the video. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah, you have to convince the state that the politicians have a vested interest. That is true. And the thing is that despite that being hard, I'm just telling you what the most practical element is. And look, listen, once again, I'm not a fan of state intervention. I'm not a fan of state regulation, but I'm just telling you that that's where Nintendo's at this point. Right. Elpire Aver says the best way to increase society's resistance to insulting or offensive speech to allow more of it. Rowan Atkinson, I agree with that principle regarding free speech. Absolutely. Sinistar, Luchai for 40 Thai baht. Thank you so much. Kopkun Cap. Appreciate you. Hoppy 800 for 5 says Japan needs to embrace all currencies again. It's the only way for Japanese media to survive in the short term. Really? All currencies, what are you talking about? I mean, you're talking about crypto? What are you talking about when you try to say alternate currencies? So, yeah, might need to explain there, but I'm not necessarily opposed to it as a gut reaction there. And thank you, Cynthia Collins, for the 5 legal mindset memberships. Indeed.
Woof.
Thank you. All right. So let's get into our second topic, which is Melon Books. So Melon Books had a bit of a problem. And that is that they are having to halt Visa and MasterCard payments. So let's look at this one here. So Dojinshi Store, Melon Books, and they will still accept JCB and American Express. So, although I guarantee you that Amex will come for them eventually. Dojinshi Store and Melon Books announced that on Friday it will suspend use of Visa and MasterCard starting on December 19th. The chain encouraged them to use JCB or Amex or other payment methods online for shopping. Melon Books added that its physical store branches are working to resume Visa and MasterCard payments sometime after mid-December. Additionally, the chain plans to introduce a new in-store payment service called Melub Tenpo Kesai, Melub Store Payment. The service would allow customers to submit payments at a physical Melon bookstore for orders made on its online shopping service. Manga Tosokokan Z, Manga Library Z, a digital service for publishing rare out-of-print manga for free, announced on November 5th that it is shutting down on November 26th due to issues with credit card companies and a termination of all payment services. Manga creator Ken Akamatsu, Love Hina, and Negima founded the service, originally known as J. Komi's Zeppen Manga Tosokan, in 2011 and launched a beta test of the site in 2010. The advertising revenue-based service distributes hard-to-find manga and publishes it for free, returning the revenue to its original creators. Another Dojinshi store, Toran Noana, stopped accepting payments via Visa and MasterCard for its online service on the 13th. So, why are they doing this? It's a very, very good question. A lot of people have looked into this and really seen how these people censor. But essentially, essentially, we've gotten to the point where they're looking at these manga, right? And they're saying that these manga are promoting naughty things. So they're saying that Melon Books, right, by selling manga, is promoting bad stuff because they've got stuff on there, manga on there that's too spicy, right? On Melon Books. In case you haven't seen Melon Books, let me just pull it over here. I'm going to pull over the Japanese site. Don't freak out, guys. Don't freak out, okay? So I'm just going to pull up the Japanese site here. It's Melon Books. Boom, over here. All right. You can see. Now they've got some spicy stuff here. They do have some spicy stuff. But once again, the presumption here is when you're buying it, if you're buying anything kind of spicy, right, you're of capable age and ability to buy that, right? Yeah. So it's attempting to censor stuff that is viewed as too spicy. Yeah. Yeah. Are you saying there's melons? Yes. And that's the intent, right? That's the intent. But yet they're fine with Western. This is the big thing. So they're allowing, and once again, nothing is illegal. This is not illegal information. It's not illegal in this is what I bring up. Visa and MasterCard are okay with OnlyFans. They're okay with the Hub. They're okay with all of those things, Fansly, all those things in the US. But in Japan, they have a moral problem with Dojin. I don't get it. Either you take a platform where it's all of them, and once again, why are you a payment processor? You should just be processing people's payments. To me, if it's legal, you should be able to purchase it. That's your job, right? Yeah, and Danielle brought up the case. They're not great on guns, by the way. Exactly. So this is it's a big issue. And to me, I think it's a problem because you when you go to buy something, you don't want your credit card company or your bank saying, "Oh yeah, we think you shouldn't be watching that. We think you shouldn't be paying for that." This is the problem with going digital, or going completely, a cashless society is. What if that payment processor is like, you know what, we're not going to let you do that, and that's also the use case for crypto, right? They're making a use case for crypto because crypto doesn't care whether you're using it for whatever, right? It's your money. Alpire Ava says, I'm not one for regulation, but this is a case in which the government regulation is required. They've been used the feds as shields in the past. Yeah, that is true. Invader Talk for 9 months says, 9 months, somebody's having a baby. That's you, and you're pregnant with a based baby. Thank you, Invader Talk, for being around for 9 months. Anyways, Persona Computer Entertainment versus Blem. Yes, emulation is legal. Yes. That's what I was talking about, Talk. It's legal. The problem is Nintendo and corporations have money to bully us peasants. Yes, and that's the problem. And that's why I don't see it stopping, but for someone with as much resources or more, which to me really is just either another very large corporation or the government. But what other corporation that's large is going to fight them over emulation of their current game system? It's not worth it. Elfpire Ava says this happened with Patreon, Gumroad, and other services with PayPal, Visa, and MasterCard being the processor sending threats to them. Exactly, and Patreon changed its tactic, right? Even lately, I saw that I think it was like there was a new policy regarding animal-like characters, furries most affected, right? But that came across Patreon, and a lot of people had to like change their games, right? Because the furry characters were getting hit, right? The animal-like characters were getting hit, not the furries. I know. Crazy, right? We need to break up Visa and MasterCard. Simple as, yeah, there needs to be more options, right? There need to be more options than just Visa and MasterCard. KH for 10 Singapore says, seems like these people are jealous of Japan's success. Exactly. Why not stop using services from Visa and MasterCard to sell 3D porn? Hypocrisy much? Exactly. It's completely hypocritical. Why is it used for all sorts of degenerate stuff in the US And that's okay. And by the way, degenerate in many means, right? In many different means. Whether it's sex, drugs, gambling, whatever else. I mean, all that stuff is all right, but Dojin is not because it's Asian, because it's Japanese. It's fucked up. Board Clips for 1 month says, thanks for all the great streams. No, my problem. My pleasure. And once again, guys, this is just to show you I cover a lot of different topics. Obviously, I am going to focus a lot on the Somali issue for the next week, probably this next month, because I'm just dogging in to like nail this topic. But you know me, I love manga and I love manhwa. I love all sorts of things, Eastern. So I'm going to be staying on top of these sort of things too. Toa for 10. Appreciate you. So I actually did ask DL site about accepting Bitcoin again. While they didn't rule it out, they pointed out reticence in accepting it due to, among other things, confirmation times in the Mt. Gox situation. Mt. Gox, like, they're not going to become Mt. Gox. How is that? There's ways to process Bitcoin payments that are far more secure than Mt. Gox days. Like, we've gone a long way since, what was Mt. Gox? 1999? That was like, I think that was, when the fuck was that? Not 99. Let's see. 2011. Sorry, 2011. I feel like 2011 for me is like almost as far back as 99. 2011. Like, it's been a while since 2011. We've had some developments in Bitcoin. Naruhime says, if Visa says Japanese adult entertainment isn't allowed, then what stops Visa from disallowing ordering pizza should a company lose Visa paper? Nothing. Once again, if they're allowed to censor one thing, they can censor anything because it's legal. So when you start censoring legal things, then you start saying what you can and cannot buy. And this is a big problem. This is something that I think hopefully changes. Like I said, if there's some sort of digital bill of rights, if there's something for like payment processors, I think even Trump has mentioned this with payment processors, that they're going to need to be neutral. Same with content providers. It's a huge issue. Payment processing is a massive issue. If it's legal, process the fucking payment. That's your job. You have one job, processing payments. Here's what you check. Is it illegal? And clearly illegal. It's not your job to interpret the law. If it's something that's a gray area, I mean, if it leans more on the illegal side, okay, yeah, sure. But if it's something that you're going out of your way to say, oh no, we're interpreting this as something illegal and it's some wild interpretation, no, they shouldn't be able to do that. Japanese Demon Lord of Bar Lucifer says, my guess is manga and anime is destroying Western entertainment at an insane pace, and Visa and MasterCard trying to save it. Yes, I agree. Andrew Clark says, to be fair, they tried to take down OnlyFans before. Yeah, but that didn't work, and they ended up going with it. Mr. Man for 5 says, don't anger the furries. They run the internet, the back end and infrastructure. Oh, I know. Once again, look, listen, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. This is where I'm a little bit libertarian. Look, if you're into that, whatever, man, live your life, no judgment. But I mean, I'm gonna laugh sometimes. But I think even furries sometimes laugh at themselves. Okay, it is a little fun. Sometimes a lot of funny. Oyamada for 2 says, mention Visa and MasterCard, but not Discover and Amex. Yeah, well, though they haven't gone yet. They haven't done anything yet, but give it time. They're not far behind. At least Amex won't be. Cajun Bowser says, the other problem is how emulators get their BIOS files. For the Switch, Nintendo got crafty, so they had to break encryption. Lawful, but awful. That was the problem. Yep. Alpire Ava said, the Johnny trial is going to be insane. Are you going? I will. Wish it was televised. I totally guess any streams of court you do summarizing. Cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, it won't be televised because Korean trials are not televised, but I will be there to report, and there's going to be multiple hearings, so I'll try to go to most of them. So I may be spending some more time in Korea for legal purposes, right? For legal purposes. Rodrigo says, this feels like a lobby. Japanese culture is taking over. Even the Vatican is joining in the anime train. If they are going to do away with someone's competition, a partner of theirs maybe. Yeah, this is you're hitting on something very real here, Rodrigo. The West is feeling the win of anime in the East. They're feeling stuff like Black Myth Wukong, Stellar Blade, Eastern games in general, Hoyoverse, right? They're seeing that these Eastern games are rising. Eastern media is dominating. Anime is dominating. Hollywood's dead. Hollywood is dead. And Hollywood's horrible. So they're seeing that and they're like, well, we got to do two things. Number one, they're trying to co-opt it. They're trying to buy it out, trying to own it, trying to make their own. Of course, anytime you make woke anime or really, political anime, it really doesn't work. Western size anime, it doesn't really work. When they do the live actions where they rewrite the story in a Western way, they fail. They are afraid. So they can't co-opt it completely. So they're also trying to block it, right? They're trying to dual angle attack here, right? Jacob Foxfire 964 says the Big N is trying to Nintendo is trying to force Pocket Pair into settlement. They have a big scary sword to get rid of the game. If they try to fight it, force them into it. Have you seen this tactic before? Yes. And they made the settlement amount low to incentivize that. Yeah, and they cannot kill the game, but what they have is an injunction, so they can stop it from functioning pending the results of the lawsuit. That's what they could do. Now, Pocket Pair may just be, a million IQ, and they may tweak their game or do a patch so they can continue to operate, and that avoids the injunction. We'll see. Shadow Imagery says, imagine if Somali twerked outside T1 HQ and yelled, F faker, while on probation, you get murdered almost instantly. Yeah, Somali is hiding. He is not going outside. If Somali goes outside, millions of Koreans will be looting him like a golden goblin. In case you guys don't know, Korea, and I explained this on my Johnny Somali stream, the vigilante streamer culture is big here. Even I didn't know this till somebody I interviewed in person, just, off the record. I'm not saying who, but I talked to somebody in person and they explained to me that in Korea, there's a big movement of vigilante streamers. So there are folks here that go around and they distribute what they view as justice because the justice system is not giving justice, right? Vigilante streamer. So he fucked with the wrong country. He literally picked the worst country to go to. And the crazy thing is, he's banned from Japan, so he couldn't even flee there. Where's he going to flee? North Korea, China? His only options for like neighbors, if he was trying to like get on a raft and, escape on a raft, like he thinks he's Luffy. Even if he was going to do that, which he won't, by the way, where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? Thailand? They're ready for him there. It's just, yeah, but he can't leave now, right? Tetsubi for £5 says, yes, woke anime. Anyone remember High Guardian Spice? No? Exactly. Yep. Exactly. That one failed real quick. Japanese Demon Lord of Barloose for the MasterCard and Visa stuff might also have something to do with Aussies and their crazy censorship rules. Yes, but once again, okay, then you do different for Australia because that's their law. You should be required to follow every country's law. Look, I may not like European regulation. I may not like Aussie regulation. I may think they're crazy, right? But I will say this. I have a policy, and that is non-interference. So if people want to ruin their countries, they are free to do that. If Germans, if Brits, if French, right? Spanish, Portuguese, Italians, if they want to ruin their country with regulation, they can do that. That's their right. And as an American, I can't stop them from doing that. They have to live in that country that they ruined regulation or whatever else. That's their choice, right? They're making the choice to do that, right? So if Aussies like regulation, good for them. Right? Now, the question is, like, obviously, do the majority of people support that? Maybe, maybe not, right? I am a Warwolf for 5 says, could anime or manga fans do some kind of class action against companies like Crunchyroll for butchering stuff and credit card companies for refusing payment? Oh, I'm going to think. If the class action, okay. So what you need 30 more people, and they need to be hurt by the same specific action. So if a bunch of people who were buying from Melon Books wanted to get together and sue, maybe, but the real direct party would be that party that was that had to stop processing payment. Because the difficulty for the class action is saying that, oh, well, you still have other options to pay. You can get a Discover card or JCB or Amex. So because you've got these other alternatives, they'd say there aren't actually damages because you've got these alternatives and you're not required to have a Visa or a MasterCard, right? So this is why this is the problem with payment processors, or like PayPal. You're not required to have a PayPal. You're electing to sign up for it. But the problem is, and this is why this needs some sort of law, right? That enforces neutrality for the payment processors, just like we do for banks, just like we do for airlines, just like we do for railroads. Airlines are private, but they can't be discriminatory, right? So if you want to get on a plane, like they can't prevent you from being on the plane because you voted for Trump or Kamala or the Green Party or the Constitutional Party. They can't look at you or you're an Abe fan and you get on a plane to Taiwan and they stop you because they don't like Abe, whatever, right? They can't do that. That's something they can't do because they're supposed to have a certain amount of neutrality. Alpire Ava said Thailand might be the one worst place from the South Korea. Well, yeah, don't fuck with Thailand. I'm just going to say it right now. Don't fuck with Thailand. It will not end well for you. Look at Ice Poseidon. And there was some grease that was had to get him even out of the country. Right. But he got some serious penalties there. Jacob Foxfires 964 says, I wouldn't be surprised if that's in their demands. Hey, we wouldn't want you to use anything similar to what we got. Change that to a disc or something. Maybe. Fanta Kitten for 50 Danish krona says maybe because of lolly stuff, drawn lolly stuff is illegal in some EU countries. That's fine. Then just block the site in the EU countries or just block payment in specifically the EU countries. This is a blanket ban. They shouldn't do it that way. Mercenary X21 says, I'm praying for Palworld. So what did I miss? Well, Palworld can still win. I'm not saying they're doomed to lose, but they may have to fight pretty hard. And they may say, hey, look, it's not worth it. Right? They may say, hey, look, it's not worth it. Mercenary. Oh, no, got that one already. Okay, I think I got everything there. All right. Also, real quick, I had one last story. Someone sent this to me, so I'm going to read this. So, money laundering. So, Marvel, Rivals, and Destiny, rising development studio, may be involved in $139 million money laundering. So, this is of course, Marvel affiliated property, right? And I believe this was a Chinese company. But anyways, last week, NetEase employees are arrested on suspicion of money laundering and bribery. So this is related to the marketing and advertising departments, the marketing department at the center of it. So apparently they paid bribes. They also got fake views. There's been 9 arrests, $139 million laundered. And that laundering apparently involves up to 27 companies. So up to 2 billion yuan, Chinese yuan, right? So we're dealing with a Chinese company with money laundering. Now, understand that, money, that's, because you hear the Marvel name, obviously you think Disney, but obviously this was going on at a Chinese affiliate company. But this is something that is a very big issue. People do get arrested very, very commonly, but also it's kind of classic mainland China, right? A lot of people are trying to money launder there, especially if they're trying to get their money out of China, right? So I could see that happening big time. So a little bit of extra news there. Thanks for forwarding that over to me. You guys have a lot of stories you forward over to me, and I try to cover them as I can, as I have the ability to. I'm a very busy man. I'm very busy. Nikkei ads in this page, Pure Cinema. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, no, I actually, let me pull it up. I can probably pull up the ad. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is in Hongdae. So I know it's here. They also had an NGE collaboration at one point. No, this is somewhere else. I've seen this one. So I've also seen this one. This is pretty based. This was the collaboration of Evangelion and Nikkei. So you get Asuka, Rei, Misato, and that new girl. What's her name? I forget the new girl. Who has the LCL fetish. Good stuff. But I've seen this one. I've actually seen this one walking around. So cool stuff. I was actually I remember walking. Mari. Thank you, Mari. You cannot evade. Yes. I saw this walking around and I just looked at it and I was like, based. I mean, I looked at it. I looked at it and I was like,
Yes, 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 yes. Yes.
as you guys know, I'm an Ava fan. Chaos Smash says, can Trump pass a law against credit card companies? Yes, he can. He can assure their neutrality. And I think he's aware of these issues. I am very interested to see what he comes in on day one in his day one executive orders. I think they should be good. They should be spicy. Loaded Demigod 29 says, if Nintendo wins, it means that Pokemon's monopoly over the cartoon monster tamer genre will be legally absolute as well. No, it does not. Look, listen, let me be very clear. I want Nintendo to lose too. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not one who's going to jump into like blackpilling or stuff that's not the legal reality. This lawsuit, none of those patents are about monsters, and none of those patents talk about monster taming. So I appreciate the super chat, but I think you're a little black pill, bro. I'm trying to give you a white pill here. Those patents are not for monster taming. They can't go out there and shut down other monster taming games for the simple mechanic of monster taming, right? That would not work. The problem is the patents and the mechanics they're trying to shut down. That is something they shouldn't be able to do. But monster taming is not one of those. Not at all. Right? The black pill is a suppository. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And once again, bro, I'm just saying, look on the brighter side. Now, it's not good, but it's not that bad. Andrew is an Asuka diehard. Yes. I came around to Asuka, but actually, to be honest, okay, I'm really a Masato fan. I started as a Masato fan, but I came around to Asuka. I can fix her. I can fix her, guys. It's specifically the ball catching the monster. It's riding the monster. It's sending them to a location. Much different. Yeah, Misato, yeah. I wanted to just have a beer with Misato and Pen. Mari, no, Mari doesn't do it for me. Eye Patch Asuka is top tier. That is good. The image is top tier. Even though I will say I don't like the remakes as much. I really don't. But that art, good. Let's see here. Zed said Sin Bishop of Defiance. Oh yeah, I do that kind of a re-zero reference there. Surely couldn't be worse than Sony allowing a game to be bought and played worldwide, only to lock it behind a PSN link requirement and lock out 170 countries from buying the game for safety and security. Yeah, the old Helldivers, huh? The old Helldivers move. They had to back down off that one. Yeah, that's bad though. Shadow Imagery for 2 said topical Pokemans by Flash Kids. I have not seen that one. Have I? Have I seen this one? Okay, let me play this. Okay, since we're on the topic, let's play this.
War story. Magic comes. Blast. Jonathan! Cole. Jonathan! Chris. Jonathan!
You guys are gonna get me fucking taken down here for that. Oh god damn. Okay. Yeah. See, you guys are gonna get me censored. Shadow Imagery, you're banned from super chatting me. Oh god, you're gonna make me edit that. Yeah, demonetized instantly. You're banned. Bad. Sponsored by Coca-Cola. It was censored, but not. You got to be careful on these streams. You got to be careful. Chaos Smash says the only way to fix Asuka is a suplex. Agreed. Mercenary says, as for the payment processing thing, they will anger Trump. Mark my words. It will involve the military, rumors of MasterCard Foundation with Visa, untoward things like P Diddy people. Yeah, well, that's the other thing too, right? So like, look at all the other things they sponsor, and they that's when I said the degeneracy in the U.S. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy parties were sponsored by Visa and MasterCard. Let's put it that way, or the equivalent of Diddy parties, because they have no problem with these things, but they're deciding to go in abroad and censor things, which in Japan are 500% illegal. Clearly, there's no argument that Melon Books is illegal in Japan. Zero. It's 100% legal. Cigarette Attorney has said, I know everyone on the rails on the Chars and Ava being messed up, but honestly, on the characters in Ava being messed up, but honestly, it'd be weirder if they were well-adjusted given their situation. No, that's true. And they're supposed to represent different spectrums of people. So they are extreme. Shinji is an extremely frustrating little twat, right? You want to slap the shit out of him, but that's because that's that part of being an adolescent, that part of being a teenager. What kind of keyboard do you use? This is a laptop. So this is an MSI laptop. It's just the built-in. I use the built-in one. At home, I have a different one in Bangkok, right? So thank you for that. I do like mechanical keyboards, but they're too loud. Species 316 says, you think you can fix Asuka? I know I can make her worse. Gendo has spoken. Napoleon Dynamite, Mugen, American new member. Appreciate you. Napoleon Dynamite. Secret Attorney says, also topical to Nikkei X Ava. You cannot evade by Musan Pro. It's safe for work mostly. I don't trust you guys anymore. You have broken my trust. You have broken my trust. You have broken my trust. Hold on. Let's see. I'm gonna put the fast forward here. Okay. Oh, that looks good. Okay, I think I can show it. All right. Hold on. Let's get the rest of these chats. Oslando Daus Crusader Oscar is the best Oscar. Okay. Einhanda for 5 says that one reminded me of the racist Mario video. Tatsumi says, did someone say demonetization golden shower? Yes, thank you so much for demonetizing me. The golden shower will wash away the yellow of my stream because my stream is now yellow 100%. Let me check behind the scenes. Yep, that did it. That definitely did it for the I'll challenge it and I'll probably win eventually. But the thing is, if you cross the boundary under 2 hours, it's going to preemptively demonetize you. So here's the problem, guys. When I do anything, even though those videos are not they're not illegal or anything like that, if I show them, YouTube will demonetize my channel. And then I have to fight it. But while I'm fighting it, all the ad revenue numbers, whatever those are cut until my appeal is over. So what they do is they demonetize you and they take like 3 or 4 days to respond. And that's when you get all your views. You get 99% of your views in the next like day or two. And then they'll say, oh, we granted your appeal. But by that time, you've already got all your views. So your revenue gets cut. So you get fucked by the system. So that's why I try to play it a little bit more safe. And I know what YouTube is looking at. Yeah, it's weird. And it hurts us in the algorithm. So that's why I try not to do it. I try to be very safe. So this one looks all right, but it's 2 minutes. So Sigrun says, oh yeah, I got that one. I could build you a quiet keyboard. Well, okay. I mean, thank you. But I mean, once again, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good in my keyboard situation. Zed said, but I do appreciate that. Thank you for that offer. Zed Sin, Archbishop of Defiance for 10 says, I hear Psyculturist, YouTube and Twitch, is doing a psychology analysis of Evangelion. Also, before putting anything on stream, review it off screen, probably what Hollow streamers. Yeah, listen. I mean, in case you guys didn't know, let me play this one more time. Like, just in case you didn't know.
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
So yeah, I'm kind of dumb, but on top of that, also I like to move things quickly, and I don't like to spend like 1 million hours going through stuff, which is why typically I don't take clip recommendations during the stream. I take them after, unless it's like a special clip recommendation show, because with the clip recommendation shows, I know those are going to get demonetized anyways, right? So I try to go through them and make sure they're okay, safe for work. So I'll go through, you know what I'll do? I'll go through the Ava one, Sigrun, and if it's good, I'll play it next time. I'll play it on the next stream. That's not a Somali stream, but a general purpose stream, which I'll do soon. But thank you. Wolf and Wings says, your trust was weak. Your trust was weak, Indiana Jones. Japanese Demon Lord of Bar Lucifer said, check your DMs. No, not during that. No. Stop sending me videos. Stop sending me videos. Oh, this is a good one though. I'm not gonna open your video, but this is a funny headline. This is a funny headline. With Japan having just 6 shooting deaths last year, it's clear the solution to gun violence is tentacle porn. Thank you, Japanese Demon Lord Abari Lucifer. Clearly that's exactly what we need. Thank you. Mercenary says, as soon as you said fight it, a mushroom ad played. Loaded Demigod 20 says, shorten my name. I want a nickname. What? You give yourself a nickname. Tell me what your nickname is and I'll use it. Marksman for 117B says, Ausländer raus, illegal phrase in Germany. Welcome. Oh, yeah. Because it's like foreigner out. Raus. It's like out. Yeah, no, I know that. Right? I know that. Ich verstehe. Right? Andrew Clark says, when are you setting up a Throne page? No, but I have a Ko-Fi. And by the way, my Ko-Fi, I am still, thank you for everybody who's donated. I'm doing a big thing on the 27th for flowers for the another of the statues in Johnny Somali. So any of the overage, because there was overage and I've got money left over, is going to go towards that. I also may go to a different one that they did a video at. I may do that before I leave the next couple of days, may or may not, depending on my timeline, and leave some flowers there as well. So if anybody donates to my Ko-Fi, there have been, I think, 50 supporters total at this point, which is fucking awesome. I will give that. That link is in the description. Also, Danielle probably has been dropping that one out there, so you guys can donate to that. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You know, we went like 285% over my initial goal. So thank you guys for donating for that. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you to everybody like Ragan Hur, Kim, we have Paul Sexton, Ben, Diana, Heine Boy, TJ, Regan, Jimmy Boombox, SJJ. Thank you, everybody who donated. JP, I know you donated as well multiple times. Thank you guys for donating to that Ko-Fi and doing something really good. That actually went over really well in the Korean media, and people who've seen that really are thankful for it. So appreciate you guys sincerely and genuinely. Thank you. Natasha says, I agree, tentacles. Natasha does not answer until we talk about tentacles. Mercenary says, tentacle monster love. Don't see a problem with it. Einander says, by the way, shout out to anyone who knows Ava, nobody dies. Oh, I know that. Yes. Tatsumi for 5 says, maybe a payment processor intentionally hindering the tentacles for the Dems to have a talking point about gun control. Japanese Demon Lord Abare Lucifer says, what I said is 100% safe for work. If it is, you can ban me. It's a rip on modern gaming. I'll play it another time. That's what I want to do today. I've got a lot to take care of today here in Seoul. I'm running around taking care of a number of things. But I want to say something, a special thank you to everybody who's been helping me out and supporting me. You guys have been fucking awesome. And I really appreciate all the support you've given me. Thank you for the articles. Thank you for the clips. This YouTube journey is as a result of giving you guys what you want and you guys want me to cover. I pay attention to the comments. I pay attention to what you guys email me. I pay attention to my DMs. I pay attention to being tagged on X. So make sure you continue to do those things so I can stay on top of good stories and good information. Until then, brothers and sisters, thank you so much. Stay based and stay better than all those out there that are in a corner and all they are doing tonight is
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard.